first question about Bama. What scares you about Bama from a defense perspective? Talk to me about what they have offensively that scares you.
Well, I thought Derrick Henry went to the NFL, but now he can throw passes
Yeah.
and he wears number 4 instead of 2. So man, I look at Jalen Milrow as one of those athletes that immediately, the wow factor when you look at him. He's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's grown as a passer. So we got to give him his his flowers there, but yet at the same time, it still seems to plague him. The red zone turnovers.
Mhm.
He's thrown interceptions in these last few games, and it's put his team in a bind. And so we want to look. It's kind of a copycat league, right? You look, you see the tape,
Yeah.
like man, okay, let's see what these teams, what Tennessee and Vandy and Georgia did to give them a little trouble and disrupt the timing with Ryan Williams, the phenomenal 17-year-old wide receiver. So when you talk about that combination, um, Milrow to Williams with having a diverse running game with Justice Haynes, um, even
Miller.
Milrow in the run game, and just
Mhm.
tailback after tailback. They roll. It's called roll tide for a reason because once they get
Yeah.
rolling, it seemed like the field is downhill on their side, and then you're just kind of fighting an uphill battle. So ultimately, we're gonna have to go out there and stop that run. And I'm telling you, we've been getting so many hidden yards in our tackles that this
Mhm.
is the week where you'll see it. I think A&M we just didn't even tackle. It wasn't like we were missing them. We just kind of
Right.
like every play they hit was just it was the play. I
Yeah.
don't think
Yeah.
Bama's offense isn't rolling like that, but if you allow them to get it going in their building, I think it's a night game.
2:30.
It's too. Oh yeah, because they losing. So now, now they're gonna move the game up. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, maybe that
Hmm.
plays to our advantage a little bit. We can
Yeah.
get our win and get back to, on champion air and get back to Como. But it's gonna be a tough battle. My main concern is the running quarterback that's plagued us this season. Castellanos from BC, Diego Pavia for Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to extend some plays and even had some running plays that were designed for the quarterback that
Yeah.
really put us in a bind. So that's going to be my focus, like I said.
So I'm gonna give you a stat, and this is probably wild, J Mac, but I know this is something that scares me. Williams, the receiver from Bama, has 650 yards, basically 7 touchdowns on 21 receptions.
Yeah, that
You talk about
that
big play. Like, give me a break. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, that's unheard of in my opinion. 21 catches. That's all you got.
we got to tackle the catch with this young guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you got. You got. Go
he
ahead.
does a good job of yards after the catch,
Yeah.
and does a good job at the point of attack too.
Hmm.
For a kid who's not he's not very big, right? He's
Nope.
not like the Smith over in
In Ohio State.
at Ohio State, right? He's not
Like
that big body
Jeremiah.
frame.
Woo.
Yeah, so
Man.
he does really well. He has really good body control.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I it'd be interesting to see how much single coverage we give him. It'd be interesting to see because a lot of the times that answer for that mobile quarterback is to put another guy in that box, right? So it'd be interesting to see kind of what we do, right? Um, I think my big thing for me, man, is in the trenches, right? Can our O line handle their D line, right?
Hmm.
Can we establish the run game?
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now, their DBs don't scare me. Um,
No.
they're young. I think they've got a
Hmm.
true freshman on one side, maybe a sophomore on the other side,
Hmm.
or something
I
like
think so.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now they do have one of the better safeties in the league, should I say, in the whole NCAA and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty good ball player, but they don't. Their DBs corner wise don't scare me. So if
Okay.
we can protect up front, if we can establish a run game, I could see the receiving core having really big days.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I
that's
can
what I
see that.
like.
I can see the
Yeah.
receiving core having really big days. So it's going to be interesting to see, kind of how we try to attack them because
Yeah.
um, if you look at South Carolina had success with one-on-one balls. They caught a
Hmm.
one-on-one ball to essentially force over what was going to be overtime
Hmm.
as they
Hmm.
got the two-point conversion.
Hmm.
Tennessee had success catching one-on-one balls. You saw what Georgia was able to do with them in the second half when they opened up the offense, right? Bunch of plays downfield. Um,
Start slinging it. Yeah.
yeah, so we
Man,
can
that was a
protect
game.
up front. Yeah, we can
That was a
protect
game.
up front, man. Uh, I am I feel good. The one thing, worst case scenario, worst possible outcome is for them to have a start like they did against Georgia,
Yeah.
right? We haven't proven yet, even though I think it's in there, we haven't proven yet that we can be consistent enough offensively to score that amount of points against a really good team.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and the whole thing without scoring like Georgia did. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I
So
mean, but that's just hard for any team, let alone, a team like you said, like Mizzou hasn't quite shown that we can. I don't think we're down 25. We can still sling it and come back. We haven't seen that yet. But
yeah.
I think it's hard for any team, man. I think what scares me is kind of the two-part answer. Like one, like team like said, the trenches scare me. Not saying that we're weak, but I just know that Bama's always known for being physically dominant. Like that's kind of been their DNA. Even though Saban's gone, I think a little bit of that is kind of leaving. We still know like that's kind of it's like the that's the meat of their recruiting. Like they're gonna be big up front, they're gonna be physical up front. And then like Spoon said, I am afraid of mobile quarterbacks. I wouldn't say specifically Milrow. I think he is a great player, but I think what I've seen of him is that it's almost like, and I kind of hate to see that with quarterbacks who are mobile. It's almost as if he's trying to prove that he doesn't need the legs. I hope he comes into Saturday's game with that same mindset.
Mhm.
Act like you don't want to run. Go ahead, sit back there. And he's got, I think it's 8 interceptions right now, which is pretty high. You know what I mean? On
Red zone
only
picks are killing them
13,
too.
6 interceptions on 13 touchdowns. So
Hmm.
he's tossing the ball out there. He's
I
giving it
think
up.
I think teams have done a good job of zone blitzing a little bit. I think South Carolina did a little bit of that zone blitzing, putting guys in different spots, making them making him go through his first, second, third progression, right? And he's throwing picks when he doesn't want to go through his progression. I think that's any quarterback, right? A
Yeah.
lot of times you see quarterbacks getting themselves into trouble and they say, hey, I know this is number one read on this particular play.
Mhm.
I don't really care what's going on. I'm throwing it to him,
I'm
right?
going.
He getting the
Yeah,
ball.
and that's how you. So I think teams have done a really good job. And I thought Tennessee just saying, you know what? I know y'all got number two, but I got this corner that I feel really good about,
They
right?
played. They
Um,
played.
so it's one of those things, man, where I think you gotta keep him guessing, all right?
Okay.
And if I'm him, right, like you're right, you don't forget your legs, but guess what? I really hope he forgets his legs next next Saturday.
I would hate for this to be the game where he's like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win.
Yeah,
Not saying that he hasn't been that way,
Hmm.
his previous 6 games now, but or 7 games now. But I'm like, just don't come out there Saturday and turn into Mike Vick, dog. Just keep on throwing the ball, please. Dog. Not that that's like, he's weak at throwing, but his strength is the dual threat, not just him sitting in the pocket and picking you apart.
yeah.
Hmm.
So if that scares you, those things scare you, what gives you
Not
confidence?
scared. I'm not scared. I'm not using the word scared in
Ooh.
front of it.
Okay,
Not
if
doing
those
Oh,
that.
there
things
go
make
Matt. There you
you,
go. There you go.
yeah, golly, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So maybe I should say if those are something that we need to watch out for, what are some things that we bring to the table that are kind of tough for Bama to stop, offensive or defensive?
Well, defensively, first of all, I just think we have a good brand of football the way we're playing. There are some hitting yards out there with our, us not being physical at the point of attack, but hey, we holding on for dear life. Like
Sure.
you
Hmm.
ain't allowed to going through us and keep going. I just think we can just be a little bit more stout on the initial contact. But we're coming off a win. So I think, we have to be positive in the sense that we know how to get it done. In the SEC, we've had tough games. We've played in overtime games. We've lost our quarterback, got him back. So I think the things that we've gone through kind of just gives me a little bit more confidence in our team because it's battle tested, man. I mean, we
Yeah.
win, we move up the ranking. We lose, we move. I mean, well, we lose, we go way down. We
Yeah.
win, we go up and down. So like our team, we kind of got to put those blinders on and just say,
Yeah, we
okay,
do.
nobody likes us, right? I love when you're in the, kind of like in the foxhole with just your
Yeah.
guys. We kind of got
Yeah.
that feel like it don't matter. All we got to do is go out there and win. I don't care how we
Hmm.
win. Shoot, if we win, we're in great shape. We're in great
True.
shape. One of the things that going back to what you said about things that kind of, are alarming, it would be for me that Bama just lost, like like
Yeah. Yeah.
scalded dog. Like the type of players that
Wounded.
I know they recruit, the type of players I see play, like these guys, they're gonna be banding together just like our
Hmm.
guys were when we went up to play UMass, right? Now
Hmm.
we're not UMass, so they won't have a they better
Yeah.
have a little bit more respect for us because we got some people out here, man. And when you're looking at the way Brady Cook just played this last game, I think our team is drinking the Kool-Aid, and that's the in Brady. In Cook we trust Kool-Aid, and I think Brady is a type of player that's already shown that he can do it at the high level, no matter who you're playing against. I mean, he's gone on the road, played against a Georgia team, and had us right there. But I think
Hmm.
one thing we said, that run game was something that was prevalent for us. So we can't just say, oh, we're gonna let Brady go out there and chunk it 40 times. I don't think
No.
that's the recipe. I think if we commit to our run game, and we got number 12 leading us, and like
Hmm.
Max said, the fact that Bama, they're a little bit young in the secondary, the corners, they're not as physical. Lost a couple corners to the league. Let's
Hmm.
just be honest. Those guys aren't there. They got some guys that are playing well, but losing Caleb Downs to Ohio State, one of the best DBs in college football,
Hmm.
Josh Downs' little brother. Those
Yeah.
those are things that we kind of got to take advantage of, man. So maybe not going at that other safety, Mac, but going at the new safety, the guy who's
hmm
who's trying to fill those shoes of a Caleb Downs. And I think one thing that we can do is pressure that quarterback. Different looks is something that you always want to give, Mac. You want to show double high safeties. You want to show single high. You want to show a little zero. Bring more than they can block. If we're more multiple in our scheme, I think that definitely gives us the edge there going against a quarterback who is like Rutt says is trying to prove, oh I don't have to run. I got
Hmm.
this, and I think that's something that could play in our favor.
Man, what plays my favorite offensively?
Uh, I think our stretch run game. I think our outside zone run game. Right. Those guys want to pin their hands back, get after the pass, and make them
They
defend the
do.
run too. Right. Make those
Mm.
guys defend the run. Right. Those that nose and that one and that three, man. They that's what they're built to do. Now make
Hmm.
these guys who want to pin their ears back and get after the passer, make them defend the run and make them defend the run often. Right.
Okay.
I think that can work in our advantage, and it helps us with creating angles. It helps us with double teams sometimes. I really think that could give them some trouble. And then also, I think we have the advantage in the secondary. I think our receivers are better than their DBs.
Hmm.
Um, so how can we get the ball to our receivers? How much single high is Bama going to play? How much man to man are they going to play?
Hmm.
Um, I think all that could definitely work in our favor. And on top of that, right? I said it last week, right? Like Spoon just said, keep your blinders on, man. But everything we want to achieve is still out in front of us. All right. So if you win this, right, you just keep winning. It's going to be really hard to keep an 11-1, right, SEC team out of the playoffs. You're just not going to be able to,
Yeah,
right?
it's tough.
Now on the flip side of this, like Spoon was saying, like Bama's going to be hungry. They just lost, and guess what? If there's only about two SEC teams with two losses that probably can get in, right?
Mhm.
That's
One
my
of them's
level.
Georgia if they lose again, and the other one's Bama.
That's
So
true.
that's what they preaching too. And just by name alone, right? People already know when they hear
Yeah.
Bama what they think, right?
Hmm.
So I got a feeling it's gonna be a really good football game.
It
I agree.
is.
So
It is.
let me speak on Spoon just hit on about our ranking. How do we feel about going to 21? Like that's after a win. Bama is a two-loss team. Still, what's that? 6 spots ahead of us.
Can I chime?
Please do. Yeah.
Can I chime? Because it's like I've been pointed out. I don't tweet much, but I've been pointed out. Like, man, that's to me. I think it's disrespectful. The
It
fact
is.
that we're winning and we're going down, yet a team that we beat just crept into the top 25, but we get no love for that win, and they beat the team we're going to play this
Hmm.
week. But it's just clout. It's clout.
Yeah.
Alabama's the more attractive name. They've done more. They've
Hmm.
they've been really good. But Nick Saban's not there,
Hmm.
and they're kind of still getting that respect. But I
They are.
saw A&M won. They didn't move. They didn't move up or go down.
No,
So
stay right at 14. Yeah.
it seems like the steady names, like the names that you always see. The Ohio States.
Yeah. The Oregon's
They find a
dying
way
to
to.
keep them up there. Yeah.
Yeah, they just keep them there. And Miami's winning now, so they ain't gonna be moving. They can
Yeah.
drop one and
Clemson
probably
is coming
still
back.
win.
Yeah,
It is what it is,
I
man. But
think I think it's going to like we thought that style points have kind of gotten away, but I think they still do matter in these rankings at least. Now
with the
we'll
less
see
Okay.
when it gets
control.
to the college football
Hmm.
playoff rankings.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Well, with these AP rankings, these coaches rankings, right? Style points matter, and I
Yeah. Because
think
I mean,
people aren't impressed with the style of the way that we're winning right now.
and I'm not gonna say they should be, but
No,
I'm also I'm not impressed with some of the teams that I've seen outside of the top five, six.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not impressed with Clemson at by any means. You know what I mean? Yet I think they're top 10 now after
Hmm.
taking an incredible L early on to Georgia. So
Giving up
I think
30
you're right.
points this weekend.
Like, come on. Like I think you're right, Spoon, that it's we haven't done enough and we're still kind of in that, well, you got these big names. You got Ohio State, you got Texas, you got Georgia, you got Alabama. So we're gonna always kind of play second fiddle until we just keep winning games, like Jeremy said. We got to keep
Yeah.
winning games, and then at the end of the season, let the chips fall where they may. Right?
Hey, this one will feel good because it's Bama. You know, like
It is Bama.
Drink,
Yeah.
Kevin. You know, Drink hit me up after the game. Well, I text Drink, was just saying congratulations beating Auburn. Like I knew that one meant a lot to him,
Hmm.
and I didn't get a chance to see him at the game. But
Yeah.
he didn't hit. He hit me back. He said, "Man, not that he's looking ahead, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
this man got a lot of tickets for this game coming up down in Tuscaloosa." Because he said,
Oh
"Man,
yeah.
come meet me." He said, "Come meet me in Columbia." He's like, I got no tickets this week. Like, even though
No
I know
way.
it might be close to the A, don't even worry about this week. It's a
You can't
big
make it.
game for us, man. So
It
we
is.
go out there and get this one. I think people they don't have much of a choice but to tip their hat to Missouri, and then they're going to be watching us a little bit closer.
Hmm. Hmm. So let's go with predict. No, no, not before we go to predictions. How do you go into Tuscaloosa, sorry, and get a win? Like, what's the recipe? And not speaking on Mizzou alone, period. How do you go down there and get a win?
I think you have to weather the storm, right?
Mm,
And I think the quicker that storm gets put out, right,
Hmm.
the better chance you have. I think Georgia a little too late, right? But I think you got to weather the storm, right? They're gonna be itching at the bit to get back at it, right?
mm,
They felt like they got Layla one slip away, um, this past week, and I think you got to weather the storm. And I think whatever you do well, right, has to be on full display, right,
ooh,
down there at their place. So whatever you do well has to be on full display.
mm,
Here's what I think we do well. I think our stretch game is second to none, right?
mm.
And I think our ability to get the ball into our playmakers' hands is pretty good.
Okay.
Go do it, right?
Hmm.
We get after the passer pretty well. Go do it and
Hmm.
do it extremely well. And I think you got a really good chance of knocking them off down at their place.
Most definitely. And to reiterate, um, you're just not going to get these moments again. So I think, just
Yeah.
making sure your team kind of understands, like, man, what's going on? Like, you guys have this the best time of your life, man. We
Yeah.
think back to these college games. I think back to the college games more often than the NFL games. And I played in
Same.
some big NFL games, but it's
Hmm.
just something about, it's something about the college atmosphere, man. The
Hmm.
way that, going to your home stadium and doing exactly what your fans thought you should do, right? And that's
Hmm.
going to be the pressure on Bama this week. They're looking just like everybody else. Mizzou coming in here, their favorite. I think they open up at 13 and a half.
Yeah, it's
They open,
82.2% chance they win.
yeah, they're opening up at two touchdowns. So it's all the
Yeah.
bulletin board, stuff that a coach can use.
Mhm.
Coach Steck told me a great story one time about what's Dr. Lou Holtz,
Mhm.
man. Coach David Steckel. Shout out to Steck. His brother Les coached with Dr. Lou
Mhm.
Lou Holtz, the great Lou Holtz,
Yeah.
and I think it was in the '80s,
Mhm.
and I hope I tell it pretty good, but what was going on at Oklahoma was they were just road grading everybody, running the option.
Yeah.
They just had the best team in college football, man, and it was everybody was saying they got some NIL deals back then, like they, so they said Coach Lou came to practice with a bankroll. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? He came every play that was made. He was, oh son, you want to be like Oklahoma. First you want to beat Oklahoma. You got to be like them. So here you go,
Yeah.
son. That's a good. There you go. Nice play there. Nice play there. Nice play there. So I think Drake is gonna do a great job of getting his team ready to go. Not like you have to get up for a game that could potentially sealed the fate of Alabama. I kind of like to play spoiler, and so we're
Yeah,
gonna be ready to go, man. By all means necessary, man. It's gonna be one of those games where you go down and you know that this is the moment, but you gotta make the plays. I know Vandy was at home, but Vandy made the plays, and both of their losses have come, you on the road. So they're
yeah,
they're not
yeah,
accustomed to losing in their building. But if you make those plays early, like Max said, like withstanding the storm, you can quiet down that stadium, and
hmm
then it's like then it looked like a natural disaster or something's coming because people be
yeah.
getting out of there, man. And I used to love going on the road because you get to see them leave and you can just wave at them. So hopefully
hmm
that's what we'll be doing this weekend.
I agree with both, man. I think just like Max said a little bit earlier, just like it's what you just said. I'll piggyback, man. A fast start is paramount. Like I'm not saying a fast start like we got to go up 21-0. No, I'm saying a fast start. We got to go into halftime either up or tied because I think we've proven that we're going to fight. There's no quit in this team. I think A&M. I'm starting to believe J Mac A&M was a
One
one off
off.
because we didn't even have a chance to see the fight that you traditionally see
Yeah.
in these Missouri teams over the past couple of years. So I think you just have to you weather the storm. You start fast, and fast can look, great to where we're 14-point lead, which would be insanely awesome. Fast can also look like we go into halftime 10-10 because I know we're in a dogfight. I know we got some dogs that will fight. You know what I mean? Uh, before we go, let's give score predictions on this Alabama game. Oh, but before that, I gotta say, going back to Mizzou, that was the first time I've been back and we won a game. I thought I was bad luck. Dead
You are.
serious. Oh, we won. We won the
Goodness
game.
gracious, Kevin.
Yeah, yeah. If we would have lost that game, I would have stopped going back. But give me your your scores, predictions for Saturday, 2:30.
Go ahead, Spoon. You got it.
I got 24-21 Tigers, baby. It's going to be a battle.
Ooh.
I see us scoring a little bit better. I forget the end of the last game, but I mean, maybe what was the score of the last game that we just played?
21-17.
21-17.
21-17. So we'll score a little bit more, I believe, because we're going to have to. It's going to take at least 24 points. And, man, and by all means, all the people out there throwing their money at FanDuel, Prize Picks, we will cover. We will cover. A win will definitely do it, right?
Yeah. What you got there, Matt?
I'm very close to Spoon. I got 27-21. I think we get 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals.
Let's go. What you got, Yee
Okay.
Yee?
I, fellas. All right. So I'm gonna take us. I'm gonna say we get this game 17-21.
No,
I think it'll be similar score to last week.
21-17. Okay.
21-17. I think the defense shows up a little bit better. Holds them to fewer points. Their last loss, they only scored 17 points. So I know that's like the recipe for us at least to get a win. So I'm gonna say 17-21.
Question before
What's
we
that?
go. Let's talk about the coaching battle a little bit if we can.
Ooh.
Because, our coach, it seems, we've only had one winning season, but we seem to be like, Drink
Mhm.
got this, because I think we watch what he does,
Yeah.
and like and Max in that world, so he has a different reverence for us, and I think it's rubbing off on us. But I haven't seen any blunders from Coach Drink. I've seen him taking care of his business, even though I question the A&M game when we kicking field
hmm
goals when we get drum. I see, that he's in total control of what's going on. He's really doing his thing. How do you guys feel about? I think how you say his name, Mac? Is it Coach DeBoer? I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
mess
The
up his
board.
name, but for him to
The
be,
E kind of makes it weird. Yeah.
right, he's real solid at Washington, right? Put him in a chance to be running this university after the legend Nick Saban has
hmm
his team positioned to do everything that he wants to do, but he has to be perfect right about now. With a name like Alabama, the team just has to be perfect with 2 losses. Who do you give the edge to in the coaching battle?
Go ahead, man.
I For me, it's really tough to say
hmm
because you saw his coaching display. You saw his coaching on full display at Washington, right?
Yeah.
And you saw what he was able to do. He had those guys, uh,
Play out of their
really,
mind.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bro,
In that, in the
put on an
Natty, right?
NFL game somebody from Washington is a rookie in the league right now, but it's amazing
Yeah.
what he
That's
did
They,
the other
they,
wild.
day.
didn't,
Good
didn't they
point.
just
Good
play?
point.
They played in the national championship last year, right? Am I tripping?
They did.
No, you're not tripping. They did.
Yeah, they did, right? They lost
Yeah.
to
They
lost
made
to
it all the way.
Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was on full display. All right. Here's the. It's going to be very there. He can do no wrong, right? When you've done that, he can do no wrong. Now you go to Bama, where the standard is here.
It's levels. It's
It's
levels.
here. Okay. And if he can block out the noise, dude, I was seeing stuff on Twitter that
Mhm.
was they was mad because he wasn't wearing like the collar shirt like Saban was. They was killing him. You call
Yeah.
yourself a coach? Like just all types of stuff.
Bro,
So,
they said Saban was coaching against Bama. I seen that on there. I'm like, what?
bro,
I mean, I'm sorry, coaching against Georgia. I apologize. I'm like,
Okay. Okay.
whoa,
yeah.
what is
So
going on?
I think if he's got some other things that he has to fight. I
Hmm.
think if he can do that, I think he's a really good coach. I do.
Hmm.
And y'all know how I feel about Drink. So I think
Yeah.
I think from that standpoint, I think it's going to be a battle, right?
Mhm.
I think this is where your coordinators really come into play,
Hmm.
um, right? And believe it or not, I think this is where your scouting department comes into play, right? And how well like your scouting tendencies and
Yeah.
alignments and down and distances and
Hmm.
things like that. So I think as the two head guys, I think that they're both like you talk about top 25 coaches in the national football. I mean, in the
Hmm.
NCAA, I think they're
Yeah.
both up there, right?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
And they're kind of it's kind of weird because they're kind of both like almost kind of up and coming, even though they're established.
Yeah.
Even though they're
Yeah.
established, it's weird. So
Mhm.
um, I think it's really close. I think the coaching battle. I think it comes down to the coordinators and honestly, how well did your scouting department do?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
One
gonna
more,
I'm gonna
Kevin. I know
give
you trying.
yeah.
I got
No,
one more.
I was gonna answer that question.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, I got some after that. Then go ahead.
I'm gonna give the answer drink. Um, to be honest, Mizzou isn't Alabama. Like day in and
You
day
got
out,
it
we don't
going.
attract the same talent that
Mhm.
Alabama attracts over the past decade. That's just fact. You know what I mean? And half of it is you riding the coattail of Saban. But let's be honest, when Saban left, they still brought in top guys. It's not like it's like, oh, woe is me, Alabama. They still have really great players. So I think Drink to date has done more with less. So I give him the edge as far as the coaching go.
Yeah.
You got to
Now, hold
Now,
on. Okay,
go
real
ahead, man.
quick.
Yeah, you good.
You take that Washington team, talent wise, with this Mizzou team. Like so, like I
Yeah,
hear you, but the talent pool has spread out
it
over the
has.
last 2 3 years, which
Mhm.
call me crazy. There's people that think that's maybe why Saban got up out of that joint too.
I've heard that too.
Call me crazy, but anyway,
Hmm.
go ahead, Swan.
One more thing. I
Hmm.
always talk about when you go on the road, you got to pack. First things you're gonna pack is your defense and your special teams. For us to shoot ourselves in the foot last week, I'm not pointing fingers at Luther because I know that's the number one person we want to be
Hmm.
back there catching a punt, and
Hmm.
making a play. Do you guys foresee that in the future he will still be back in
Yes.
this game? I know Drake went back to him in the game, and
Hmm.
I love that because that game is, it's important that you don't just go yank a guy. I mean, he's Luther.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
someone that we've been dependent on, and he's shown that he can do it. Do
Hmm.
you think moving into this game that we're going to keep him back there? And if so, how big do you think special teams would be in this game? Can he give us one of those plays to maybe hit his head on the goalpost? What you think? Because I haven't seen him take a punt to the crib yet, like old Mackler
Yeah.
would. But
So,
he,
man,
he's right
Spoon,
there.
you
A
took the
couple
Back
words
last
there.
right
year.
out of my
Couple
mouth.
he did last year,
Yeah,
and
but I'm
maybe
saying
even the
like
year
this, right?
before.
Who's they playing?
Yeah. But look, so
Exactly.
Spoon, you took the words out of my mouth. I in terms of the confidence and having faith to put him back in that position, I
Hmm.
liken him to J Mac. I think the talent is just it's there. So and he is that kind of guy.
Hmm.
Yes, I trust you. You're going back there. You're gonna catch. You're gonna return punts again. I'm not fearful.
Okay.
Hitting your hand on the goalpost. I don't know.
I
Fellas,
I'm
wouldn't
gonna be
take
betting
that bet.
yes.
fellas, I've been
I
saying
wouldn't
this
take
since
that
high
bet.
school. I've been saying it since high school. He hitting
Okay.
his head on that goalpost. Like
I,
that's
we
part of
gonna
his
need
game.
We need one of them down. Like even if he don't hit his head on the goalpost, just that big splash play, like to set us up.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, bro, to get one of them down there, and the way I saw our defense force a nice turnover. I saw Pride Jr. Set the edge, and he actually
Hmm.
hit the blocker into. So them East St. Louis boys, I ain't gonna, what I'm saying, I ain't gonna throw no salt at them now, but man, I wanna see us do something that can really
Yeah,
put their mark on the game, and I would love to see that this week.
Yeah, no, he got it. He got it. He got it. And I fully expect him to be back there. Now, because he's an every down receiver, will he take all of them? I don't know.
yeah. Good point.
I know Flood is back there a little bit, right?
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, like, yeah, I got no problem with him handling punts.
Yeah,
No problem.
and
Yeah.
and like J Mac said, it's the more opportunities that kid gets to be explosive, the better it is for Mizzou State. And if that means he got to be the guy returning punts and the guy returning kickoffs, so be it.
Hmm.
That gives us the best chance to win football games, like he
I
did
got a hot
last year.
take. I got a
I
hot
take,
take. It might not be
yeah,
that hot, but I mean, everybody knows that Luther Burden is Luther Burden. DOEs is these guys are the guys that when you get the ball in their hands, Missouri's doing well. But I saw some plays from the tight ends this week, and when we
he
were at
did.
Missouri, what one thing that complimented Macklin, Alexander,
Yep.
Franklin, Perry, one thing that complimented those guys were Mackey Award winning tight ends, and those guys pose some matchup challenges for any conference. I mean, with their size, there was a
Yeah.
big third down where the backup tight end
Number 80. Yeah.
eluded a defender, and
Hmm.
you normally see tight ends get tackled, but I
That's
would
true.
love to see. I think the tight end could be a big area for us to exploit Alabama as well, because normally you think of Alabama, their linebackers' names already. You got the Reuben Fosters, the
He
I
had
be
Anderson from
forgetting.
last year.
They
Yeah.
just been having players and players
Yeah.
and
Forever.
players, right?
Hmm.
So I would love to see the tight ends go out there and exploit that. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. And I think the fans at home should keep their eye on that too. And when it happens, just say, Spoon said that. He did.
All right, man. Anything else before we get out of here, man? Anything else?
Good.
Good.
I like that though, Spoon with the tight ends. I think it's time to use every weapon that we have, and these are weapons that we know we have. Maybe not the country
These are
has not
good
seen them on
players,
field display, but they're good players. You know what I mean?
man.
80 and 87, those are big physical tight ends who can pose matchup problems.
I believe
All
so.
right, all right, fellas, man. Another good one. Can't wait to watch this game Saturday. We root for the Tigers until we die. All right, fellas, have a good one.